Alright, well, would you look at that? That is now the third time in a row that I've had to re-record this entire video. First time was because I forgot to plug the microphone in, and then second time it was because I forgot to put an SD card in. So, God willing, this will be the last time I record this. So sorry if I sound a little bit bored or irritated. Anyways, as hopefully all of you are aware, by the time this video is released, there will be an apocalyptic cold front descending down upon most of the United States. This one is going to subject a lot of places to levels of cold that they're really not prepared for. I'm talking about, like, minus 15 degrees in Atlanta, Georgia. That is colder than it usually gets there. And as someone who has lived in both Alaska and Maine, I figured I'm just going to do a little bit of a sequel of sorts to my emergency car preparedness video. And this one is just on how to freeze'nt to death. Freeze to deafen't. Whatever, how to survive really, really, really cold weather. Okay, first of all, car stuff as the category. Number one, driving. People think that driving on ice is super hard, it's a skill you gotta learn, blah, blah, blah. It's not really even that hard, it's just sort of counterintuitive. You have to drive a lot slower than you think you do, and it is very unforgiving. So if you want to learn how to drive on ice, go out to a parking lot that's empty, or just any place where you can drive around flat without anyone getting in the way, and bring a soup pot with you, like one of those big 5-gallon soup stock pots, like that you make soup in. And you fill it up probably to maybe 2 inches below the rim with water. And you put that on the passenger seat, and then try to drive around and not spill any of the water all over the inside of your car. This does a pretty good job of modeling the kind of force transfer and, momentum and shit like that in a car, which is what makes you lose traction. If you can master that, just pretend that you have a soup pot full of water in the passenger seat you're trying not to spill. You won't slip on the ice. Do not pour hot water onto your car's windshield to unfreeze your wipers. This will make your windshield explode. This is pretty self-evident, obvious, whatever. Also, leave your windshield wipers up before you go to bed. This will cause, if you try to turn them on while there's ice on top of it, it's going to pull the windshield wiper thingy out of the ball joint that makes it zoop, zoop. And yeah, that's going to be an annoying whole thing to fix. Alright, personal stuff. How quick you freeze. If you're not from an area where it frequently gets to negative Fahrenheit degrees, Celsius doesn't count here, might not be aware just how much colder it is. Alright, like normal winter temperatures in somewhere like Atlanta, right, is going to be 30 to 40 degrees. That's chilly. That's going to suck if you're outside, in that overnight without a jacket. But you'll probably live. You'll have to bundle up, you'll have to, ball up, kind of, find shelter in some way, shape, or form, get something hot to drink. But you're probably going to live. Minus 15, you are going to die, just straight up, you will die. So you're going to need to, learn the value of base layers, and really layering in general. 1 second, actually. This is actually a great segue into the sponsor of today's video, Americana pipedream. Really cool military surplus gear / outdoors / clothing company. Been a fan of these guys for a long time, long before I even started this channel. And so when they hit me up to do a sponsor spot, I was like, hell yeah, I would love to. Yeah, Americana pipedream is the name. There'll be a link below. It's where I got this cool-ass Swiss jacket. It's got a flask pocket in it. That's not really what it's for, but that's what I use it for. Let me fix my lavalier mic right here. God damn it. So this is an example of the kind of layering that I'm talking about. This is the jacket I wear in winter. It is a outer layer, and for example, waxed cotton. I waxed this one myself, but you can do that as well. But really just something that is kind of weatherproof, kind of waterproof, cuts down on wind, to be like, the kind of first layer. And then you'll want a liner underneath it. This is a, if anyone is, interested in cloning this, like every other setup or rig or whatever that I have, it's a German Army Bundeswehr quilted jacket liner underneath a Swiss, I think it's the M70 parka. It's the Alpenflash one. You can just look, it's got the giant pockets. You can fit an entire Nikon F3 into this pocket. Neat, right? Anyways, I need to take this off. This is so goddamn hot. Okay, whew, that's better. It's hard to wear one of those in front of a light. Anyways, yeah, like the air, like what keeps you warm isn't the liner, it's not the outer shell, it's the layer of air in between the liner and the outer shell, which is why you need both. For similar reasons, like base layers, like thermal underwear, long johns, wearing a t-shirt underneath a long sleeve shirt, that also does the same thing. It will keep you warm. Alright, how about if you don't have any base layers or jackets or whatever? Well, if you don't have anything, you're just straight up, you're going to die. If you do have a jacket and you're trying to stretch that out and make it, warmer in like a, yeah, like if you're watching this video on the computer at a public library, for example, what you're going to do is you're going to go to a public bathroom and you're going to make sure, A, that all of your clothes are dry. The hand dryer there works great for this. And then B, what you're going to do is you're going to take as many fucking paper towels as you can grab and just ball them up and stuff them into your pants, like down your pants legs, under your shirt, and then like between your shirt and your jacket, and then in the sleeves, to try to make yourself like you could try to make yourself look like the Michelin Man or something like that. But this is to maximize the amount of air that is trapped underneath your outer shell layer. This will kind of insulate you thermally. Yeah, so let's move on. Gotta get my, notepad here. All right, house stuff. The main thing that I wanted to make this video about in general is this one, ceramic flowerpot radiant heaters. So what these are is basically you need to take a terracotta, ceramic, whatever flower pot, like the kind of orangey brown ones that you put plants in, and then 3, either bricks or, rocks or whatever, like 3 things that you can kind of put around the rim of it to elevate it a little bit, and then you put a candle underneath it, like a tea light, just something. And what this does is it takes the incredibly kind of intense point source heat of the candle flame that can't really, effectively heat things up because it's just a little tiny, really hot point, and then it takes that, traps that heat, and then disperses it through like kind of this radiant diffuser. It's like an impedance matcher for thermal transfer, or I don't know why I thought that would be helpful to say, but okay, but yes, make them. They will heat up a room. They'll heat up your hands. They're very cheap. Pipes freezing. How to avoid this one? You will want to, really the pipes that freeze in a house. It's going to be the attic, and it's going to be unfinished basements, or really anything where it's just, an uninsulated section of the house. What you're going to want to do is, if possible, go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, your local hardware store, and get pipe insulators, like the things where they're kind of like these silver squishy tubes that have a bunch of fiberglass on the inside and then a slice through the top that you just kind of like bloop onto the pipes, and this will, do a pretty good job insulating them and keeping them from freezing and bursting. If you don't have that, you can use blankets, sheets, stuff like that. Make sure that, it's not too heavy, but just anything that'll kind of trap the heat. And then really what you're going to want to do is every faucet in the house, every sink, every, bathroom, kitchen, mudroom, whatever, if it has a faucet, every 6 hours, just run the faucet on hot for 10 minutes. And the best way to do this usually is to just stagger them, so it's like, noon, bathroom 1, 1 p.m., bathroom 2, 3 p.m., the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. And you get how staggering things works. But this is just to, make sure the hot water heater doesn't run out, whatever. But yes, like what this does is, the hot water rushes through them, it reheats the pipe, the heat gets trapped by the insulating material on the outside, and then it also, melts any ice that might be building up in there, and yeah, it keeps them from breaking. Window sealing, I think this is the last one. What you do is you take, like, one of those big plastic sheeting tarps, like the clear stuff that Laura Palmer was wrapped up in on Twin Peaks. I got lost in the sauce and flustered the last time I tried to, explain this, so we're just retaking that. Yeah, so you put the plastic on the outside of your window. You get a staple gun, and then you staple it to the frame of your window from the outside. and put a staple in there every 6 inches to a foot or so. Just make sure it's nice and tight. There's no big gaps, and then you do it again. You have another layer. This will do an actually really good job of sealing up a lot of kind of drafts and leaks through which your house can get cold, and you can still see through it, kind of. That's really all I have to say. Good luck.
Me right, I creep at night. Posse deep is how I creep. Me right on the grease with that fucking